but I'm willing to see what's behind door number 3. I'm willing to make a change for change's sake. Because what I've gotten over the last 4 games with Dillon Gabriel is a guy that I have serious questions about whether or not he's an NFL quarterback. Seriously.
So what does Kevin Stefanski want out of this?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether or not Kevin Stefanski wants to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Because to continue to stay the course with Dillon Gabriel based on the body of work that we've gotten just doesn't make any sense to me. It's nonsensical.
Picture this. ESPN turns into a full-blown roast battle and Chris Canty storms in like a man on a mission, swinging verbal punches straight at Kevin Stefanski. He didn't just call him out. He dismantled him piece by piece like a coach-shaped piñata, stuffed with excuses, bad play calls, and fragile egos, all because Stefanski just can't stop throwing shade at Shedeur Sanders. Now, the whole NFL is glued to Cleveland, watching this circus like it's the hottest new reality show with shoulder pads. So what exactly set Canty off this time?
Every morning, every afternoon, every evening, there's something new to talk about. But this morning, on Unsportsmanlike, Get Up with Chris Canty has some things to say about Kevin Stefanski, because basically Chris Canty has walked it back and has caught Kevin Stefanski in a red-handed lie. And he exposed him on national television for the lies that he was saying.
Oh, buckle up, because this wasn't a debate. It was a meltdown worth grabbing popcorn for. Cleveland's got a talent for chaos. Every time they hit rock bottom, they don't climb out, they grab a shovel and dig a basement. And this week, Chris Canty didn't stroll into ESPN. He marched in like he was hosting an intervention for Stefanski's coaching career. But instead of comfort and tissues, he brought fire, facts, and frustration. The moment Canty opened his mouth, it wasn't analysis, it was annihilation. The man didn't just critique, he purged Cleveland's nonsense on live TV. He looked at that quarterback rotation and said, nope.
After Gabriel goes out there and throws 2 brutal interceptions in the second half of that game that effectively seal your fate, at some point, something has to change. And it boggles my mind that Kevin Stefanski is adamant about sticking with Dillon Gabriel after the bye week, after we've seen the quarterback throughout the course of his first 4 starts rank dead last in yards per pass attempt, yards per dropback, air yards per attempt, and have the second worst QBR during that span.
That's not football. That's a sitcom gone wrong. One half of the locker room is limping, the other half's confused, and somehow Stefanski's over there pretending it's all fine, sipping Gatorade like he's meditating through disaster. And the wildest part? Dillon Gabriel's out there launching footballs that float like helium balloons. Every pass looks like it's sightseeing before crash landing. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is on the bench, silent, steady, and carved out of pure wasted potential. The fans are pleading for a change, the analysts are shouting from rooftops, and what does Kevin Stefanski do? He stares at the chaos and mutters one word: focus. Focus? On what, coach? Because the only thing Cleveland's focusing on right now is failure. Chris Canty finally snapped. He couldn't take it anymore. You could see the exact moment his patience evaporated right on live TV. One minute, he's calm and professional. The next, he's torching Kevin Stefanski so hard the studio temperature shot up 10 degrees. The whole room went silent, jaws dropped, like they'd just witnessed a televised crime scene. Even the cameras hesitated to zoom in, probably scared to catch the blast radius of that verbal explosion. And honestly, can you blame him? Cleveland's quarterback plan makes less sense than a math test, written in riddles and graded by blindfolded referees.
During training camp and practice, that they want to bring all the rookies along. They want to bring everybody along. They want to groom everybody. They want to keep everybody up to speed. A lot of people have noted everything that Kevin Stefanski has said dealing with Shedeur Sanders involving this quarterback situation in Cleveland. A lot of people have put their notes down. They listen to everything that Kevin Stefanski says, because now some of the things that Kevin Stefanski had said.
You've got a starter who's allergic to touchdowns, a backup who can't even get a rep, and a head coach guarding his depth chart like it's classified nuclear intel. It's ridiculous. Stefanski's running this team like it's the Bachelor quarterback edition, and once again, Shedeur didn't get the rose. Chris Canty came in armed with fury, stats, and that "I'm done pretending this is normal" energy that fans have been screaming for all season. He called out the chaos, the clumsy rotations, and Cleveland's weird obsession with sabotaging its own potential. The whole ESPN panel froze, sitting there like statues, because deep down, they knew he was spitting the truth. This wasn't just a rant. This was therapy for every Browns fan who's ever watched a good season get turned into a blooper reel before their eyes. And let's be real, Stefanski's press conferences, they sound like motivational speeches written by a broken GPS. Reporters ask about Shedeur, and he dodges the question like he's deflecting lasers.
I mean, I don't mean just this one game, but I'm saying this is his chance. Even though it looks like he's been practicing well, what we talked earlier, like it just seems like they don't want to give him the shot to really move up. Well, they have to now. And I salute them for not. I think to start Tyler Huntley in this game would have just been like, yeah, it would have either been insulting or he is just light years away from being ready to play in an NFL game. And so I'm glad he's getting a start. I said earlier, maybe he plays a half, Huntley plays.
That's not my focus, he says. Not your focus? Sir, you're coaching an NFL team, not running a silent retreat in the mountains. He talks about trusting the process, but it sounds more like he's trying to manifest a playoff spot through pure denial. While Stefanski's out here spouting philosophy like a sideline monk, Dylan Gabriel is busy rewriting the handbook on how not to play quarterback. It's a disaster reel in motion, turnovers, intentional groundings, and safety points that make highlight editors question their career choices. Every drive looks like a training camp drill gone rogue, and the next, like someone hit random play on Madden and walked away. If chaos were a stat, Gabriel would be the MVP of mayhem. Chris Canty saw that and lost it. He didn't sugarcoat a thing. He called out Stefanski like a man fed up with watching the same bad movie on repeat.
These are made-up injuries, or somebody don't want him to play, or he doesn't want to play. I don't know.
So Shedeur is back on the field today for the Browns, and now the story is, does he want to play? How does he have these mysterious injuries and he's not getting any reps or taking any hits? So if it sounds weird, guys, it probably is. In college, his sack rate was 8.
Canty said what everyone's been thinking. Stefanski's coaching like he doesn't even want the job anymore. And honestly, who could blame him? Coaching the Browns has to feel like babysitting a blender. Loud, unpredictable, and guaranteed to make a mess. You can see it in Stefanski's posture. His whole body language screams, "Please, somebody trade me to sanity." But instead of facing the truth, he just keeps doubling down on the worst decisions possible. It's like he's allergic to accountability. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders came into the league locked in, focused, humble, and ready to silence every critic who thought he was just living off his last name. And what does he get in return? A front row seat to dysfunction. Canty wasn't having it, not for a second. He dragged the whole organization straight through the mud, and he didn't do it gently.
I don't remember him sitting out for any injury for a long period of time when it comes to his college career. So how do you get to the league and all of a sudden your back hurts, your throwing arm hurts, everything just starts to break down? That's what you want us to believe. So if it sounds weird, it probably is. We all see what is happening in Colorado right now for the Buffs. You believe that jersey retirement stuff now? How do you get hit, pressured, and sacked more than any college quarterback in your draft class and then magically get to the league and then become brittle? No, pick a new story, pick a new subject.
He basically said what every frustrated fan has been yelling for weeks. If you're too scared to let the kid play, maybe you shouldn't be coaching at all. That's not just a hot take. That's a career wake-up call. Because when your quarterback room looks like a group project that failed before it even started, someone's got to step up and take the blame. The wildest part? Cleveland's still out here pretending everything's fine. Like, seriously, how? They're running through quarterbacks like it's a clearance sale at the NFL store. One week they trade for a guy, the next they dump another, then they promote Shedeur only to forget he even exists. It's not a quarterback room anymore. It's a clown car. The door opens and nobody knows which quarterback is stepping out next. If confusion were a coaching strategy, Kevin Stefanski would be undefeated by now.
Because then all of a sudden you start to ask all of these questions as to why. There are only 2 quarterbacks on the active roster right now. So if you don't promote him to QB2, that being Shedeur Sanders, and you decide to elevate Bailey Zappi off the practice squad, who you didn't think enough of to have on your active roster weeks ago, it makes it seem as if you have an agenda other than allowing the quarterback competition
And instead of fighting for wins on the field, they're battling for ego points. Forget touchdowns. This whole mess is about who wins the office politics Super Bowl. And spoiler alert, nobody's winning that one. Picture it. The head coach refuses to play the GM's pick, keeps rolling with his own favorite like a stubborn dad who won't stop for directions, even after getting lost for hours. Every loss turns into another "I told you so" moment just waiting to happen. Meanwhile, the locker room's divided. Fans are losing faith by the minute, and Chris Canty's on national TV turning Cleveland's dysfunction into must-see entertainment. When he said, "This organization isn't even on the same page," that wasn't a dig. It was a public service announcement. You can't win football games when the front office and the sidelines are locked in a tug of war over the team's future. It's like trying to drive while two people fight over the steering wheel. Eventually, you're not steering, you're crashing. And the stats? Don't even get started. Dylan Gabriel's numbers look like a horror story written in spreadsheet form. A QBR so low it could freeze over Lake Erie. Accuracy that couldn't hit a billboard from 5 feet away. And turnovers so consistent they might as well count as assists for the defense. Every Sunday, he's out there making opposing coordinators look like masterminds. Fans are literally watching through their fingers, whispering prayers that the next throw doesn't end up in enemy hands. And through all that, Shedeur Sanders, the kid with actual spark, with calm under pressure, is sitting on ice, collecting dust while Cleveland's chaos keeps rolling. Shedeur Sanders can't get a snap, can't get a shot, can't even get a real explanation.
Head coach Kevin Stefanski in the news as he announced he is giving up play calling to offensive coordinator Tommy Rees.
Hallelujah.
Now the second straight season in which Stefanski has given it up. And fellas, before I even get to the question of this, how in the world do you as a head coach of a football team call plays one year? I was unaware that this is what happened. He called plays one year, wasn't good enough to continue doing it. You have someone else call the plays, and then you're like, you know what? The next year, I'm going to hire a new OC, and I'm going to still call them joints.
It's like the coaching staff's got him locked inside a break-in case of Miracle Box, only they keep forgetting where they put the key. Every time the offense collapses, the cameras pan straight to him, catching that calm, composed face like he's thinking, "You seen this mess too?" He just nods, cool, professional, quietly wondering what kind of football purgatory he's stuck in. And that silent frustration? It's fuel now. He's turned it into pure fire. Meanwhile, Stefanski looks like a man too scared to admit he's wrong, even if it means setting his whole season on fire. That's pride mixed with panic, and it's the kind of combo that turns decent coaches into punchlines. And that's exactly what Cleveland's become, a punchline with helmets and Gatorade bottles. Other teams have game plans. Cleveland, they've got mysteries. Other coaches have vision. Stefanski's got confusion and caffeine. The man's treating quarterback decisions like he's guessing a forgotten password.
Over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. He won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. There's just a principle involved here where at least you acknowledge that by default, Flacco is now gone. Shedeur moved up a slot. He's second on the depth chart. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur. I guarantee you Bailey Zappi is now, and they're not putting it up on the website. I guarantee he'll dress.
Let's try Gabriel again. Maybe this time it'll work. Spoiler alert, it never does. Chris Canty made sure nobody could ignore it. He called the whole setup nonsensical, clunky, embarrassing. The holy trinity of dysfunction. He ripped through the excuses like paper, leaving nothing standing but the truth. And when he finished, even the studio lights seemed to dim like they were exhausted too. Nobody wanted to follow that rant because once someone burns the whole house down, there's nothing left but ashes and awkward silence. Meanwhile, Browns fans were sitting at home nodding in agreement like, finally, someone said it. Because let's be real, this isn't new. This isn't bad luck. This is Cleveland's entire brand. It's the same exhausting cycle. Hype, heartbreak, and head-scratching decisions that would have gotten most franchises shut down by now. Chris Canty didn't hold back, didn't sugarcoat, and definitely didn't do that polite TV analyst act. He spoke like a man who's seen enough, tired of watching mediocrity get dressed up and sold as strategy. You could almost hear Browns fans cheering through the screen, probably already printing shirts with his face and the words, "Finally, someone gets it." And the craziest part, the solution's right there in front of them. It's not rocket science. Start Shedeur Sanders. Give the kid a chance. Let him play. Let him fail. Let him shine. Anything's better than drowning in denial every Sunday. But Stefanski, he's out here acting like putting Shedeur in the game would unleash some kind of ancient football curse.
2,000 yards when he had a receiver and a tight end who could catch the ball?
No.
So I'll go back.
Coach of the year.
And again, I'm not trying to defend Kevin. I've said all year long, you want to fire him, I'm not going to fight you. Like, there's enough evidence there. You want to fire him, fire him. I just think it runs so much deeper throughout this organization. Firing the head coach is putting a Band-Aid on a head.
That's not going to fix it.
It ain't going to fix anything.
No,
but you want to fire him?
But
not firing is not going to fix it either.
But
At this point, the only curse is his play calling, because every week it's the same painful pattern: hope, confusion, meltdown, repeat. Canty even hinted that Stefanski might be mentally checked out, like a man halfway out the door ready to cash his final paycheck and fade quietly into coordinator life. And honestly, it tracks. Coaching the Browns has to feel like trying to build IKEA furniture with half the screws missing. Frustrating, endless, and guaranteed to end in yelling. But if you're gonna stay, at least build something. Don't just stare at the box and call it leadership. And where's GM Andrew Berry in all this? Probably somewhere in the building watching this circus unfold and wondering if he's accidentally wandered into a hidden camera show. You draft Shedeur Sanders, sell the fans a dream about the future, and then let your coach treat the kid like a myth. It's wild. Canty exposed everything: the politics, the poor planning, the pitiful excuses. He peeled back every layer of this disaster and showed what's really happening behind those locker room doors. That wasn't a rant, it was a performance piece. A masterclass in accountability titled "How Not to Run a Football Team." Honestly, if the Browns ever want to make a documentary, ESPN doesn't even need to film new footage. They can just replay that segment and call it a day. But let's be real, this isn't just Cleveland's problem. Every league's got that one team trapped in a loop of self-inflicted chaos. And the Browns, they just do it with extra flair and a soundtrack of drama. Watching Chris Canty call them out felt like watching someone finally flip the whole dinner table after years of awkward silence and bad conversation. It was loud, raw, and long overdue. And honestly, it had to happen. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one quarterback or one ugly game. It's about accountability. It's about a coach who needs to own his choices instead of hiding behind recycled excuses and buzzwords. It's about trusting young talent instead of letting it collect dust on the bench while mediocrity keeps starting every Sunday.
So if we make this switch now again for the second year in a row, and this time it's different, and Tommy Rees takes over play calling, and all of a sudden the offense, I'm talking like noticeably different. Like it feels like we're watching a different team than we watched the first half of the season. For me, that would be kind of an indictment on Kevin, that one guy can step in here and make that big of a difference to the offense, that you are the one that, like, you're the offensive guy. This is your system. This is your program. You brought it in here. You're supposed to be the offensive head coach, which, by the way, how do you feel about him having to give it up 2 years in a row? Because I can't.
And Canty, he made that point hit like a hammer. You could feel the energy shift right after that rant aired. Fans were fired up, trending Shedeur's name like it was a protest chant across the internet. Analysts jumped in with their own takes, and even retired players started hinting that maybe, just maybe, Cleveland's been holding itself back all along. It's wild how one well-aimed rant can shake up an entire city. Canty's message was pure tough love, ESPN style, and it hit harder than any tackle he ever made in his playing days. You could tell he wasn't trying to embarrass anyone. He was trying to wake them up. It was every ex-player who's seen talent wasted saying, "Enough is enough!" So what now, Cleveland? Well, where do you go from here? Either you wake up, start Shedeur, and finally give your fans something real to cheer for, or you keep pretending everything's fine until even the scoreboard starts laughing at you. Because if this disaster keeps rolling the same way, Kevin Stefanski won't have to worry about focus anymore. He'll have all the quiet time in the world to meditate from the comfort of his couch. And Shedeur Sanders, man, the kid deserves better. Better than locker room politics, better than empty excuses, and definitely better than watching incompetence steal his reps every week. He's got the skill, the discipline, and the hunger. All he needs is a coach who believes that potential belongs on the field, not trapped on the sideline. You can see it in his composure. He's built for this moment, and every snap he's denied just makes the whole situation look worse for Cleveland. Chris Canty saw it before anyone else did. He didn't aim at the rookie learning the ropes. He aimed straight at the coach tripping over them. And when he flipped that spotlight, he didn't just spark a debate. He ignited a movement. Because once the world starts laughing at your dysfunction, you've only got two choices: fix it or become the permanent punchline. And let's be real, Cleveland's been the punchline for way too long. Maybe this time someone finally takes the joke personally. Maybe this is the moment things finally shift, the moment talent gets prioritized over pride, because fans are tired, analysts are done, and players like Shedeur are waiting to prove they can lead if someone just lets them. So let's see if Cleveland wakes up before it's too late. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next one.